Chris Virgin, Solar Panel Cleaning Friends, and today is the podcast. It's Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My co-hosts are on their way, I'm sure. David and also Lewis said that they would be joining in, so I'm waiting for him to pop in as well. Mike might even pop in from time to time. He does, and he may. Get that off of there. Guys, this is a really good podcast that we're going to be doing because we're going to be talking about residential solar panel cleaning. And today, excuse me, soda, I think that I like talking about residential cleaning the most because I like to talk about the different experiences that I've had with residential cleaning. Most of you know that I started out with commercial solar panel cleaning, and then now, I've after I think between the third and fourth year is when I made my switch into residential, and I love residential solar panel cleaning. Love it to death. So we're going to be talking about this, I think, for the full month of February, residential solar panel cleaning. Each podcast, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into the good, the bad, and the ugly of residential solar panel cleaning. We're going to talk about some safety, some equipment that you can use, and a whole lot of awesome stuff. So be prepared for that. Today, we are also doing something that really, Mark's already on the ball. We're going to be doing something good. We're going to be giving away a full cubic foot of DI resin, zero DI resin from WCR. That's right. These guys. So we're going to be going ahead and giving away that. And I've got something really cool. I've got this thing right here. Let me just check these guys. I don't know where they are. I've got this thing that my wife hooked me up with and went and picked up today. So today, when we do this from now on, we got this little cage thing that we're going to go ahead and pick numbers, and that's how we're going to see who wins. So I think it's going to be super fun. I'm excited about it. So we'll open that up when it's time. I had a cleaning today, and I had actually just got home probably about 30 minutes before the numbers are already popping in. 30 minutes before the podcast, I had to take a quick shower and eat a quick sandwich and hop right on here. As you can see, the green screen is there, and it's not working right now because I literally just didn't have time to get it all set up. First, give me a second. Let me share this out to a couple different places real quickly. How's everybody doing? Is everybody ready for an amazing podcast? Last week, we couldn't go live because we had a little bit of some technical difficulties. So I'm excited for this week because we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening. At least for me and Mike here in San Diego, the solar panel cleaning has really picked up. It's started to really blossom. We're at that time of the year where you start to get more phone calls from customers and potential customers, and you really start to get out there and do a lot of appointments. So I'm excited about it. All right, let me just share this real quick here. Put up the posts and all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Alrighty. All right. Okay, so residential. Where do we start off with residential solar panel cleaning? Oh, hold on a second. These guys are saying that it's not letting them in. Let me send these guys a thing. Try this link to enter. Residential solar panel cleaning. So many of you know about my first project, which was 7,800 solar panels, carport solar panels, which just damn near killed me. And we did that for a week, and it was hard. And then beyond that, we went 3.5 years of this commercial cleaning, of cleaning carports for elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and colleges. And it was fun. We learned a lot from that. And then I switched over to residential. Let me put Lewis all in here. Lewis, what's going on, sir?
How's everybody doing? Currently, I'm not driving. I'm actually the passenger right now.
Later, when you get back, you're going to have to watch this because I don't know if anybody else can hear this, but your voice is slowed down. It sounds so ridiculous. Say something.
Using my phone.
Yeah, You're gonna have to try to get back on here. I'm gonna kick you out and then try to get back in. Okay?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Bye bye.
Did you guys hear that? Was it? Is it just because I'm on my phone or my connection? But did you guys hear how his voice was all messed up? That was really funny. All right. Well, hopefully Lewis will get back in here. So we're cleaning these commercial projects and doing a lot of them, and then I actually left over. He was clear. Wow, it sounded terrible to me. So that's actually not a good sign. Yeah, wow. All right. Well, that kind of sucks. Hopefully they'll get on back together and it'll sound good on this. Otherwise, it's just going to be a whole lot of me talking, which isn't too bad either. But we actually had a guy who contacted us for some residential solar panel cleaning. And this was back when I had my commercial company. And my other partners did not want to do the residential cleaning. So they sent me out to do the jobs. And I went out there all by myself to do the solar panel cleaning, the residential. And at the time, I think it's very important to talk about my first residential cleaning because people like Steve talk about the safety and whatnot with cleaning. There is a lot of risk that can be a lot of risk that's there and evident when it comes to the residential solar panel cleaning. You can get electrocuted, you can fall off the roof, you could, I mean, just a plethora of things. And it's not working. It's not working. Well, that's kind of weird. Everything should be good. Well, guys, hopefully the remainder of you guys can get into the backstage, and I'll let you join in with me. I don't know what's going on, but apparently a little bit of technical difficulties, so you might just be stuck with me for tonight, which again isn't too terribly bad. All right, well, let's just get right into it. If these guys can get into the back room and I can bring them onto the podcast, then cool. But let's make this happen. Residential solar panel cleaning. My first job was really, really scary because I wasn't trained at the time. I had a lot of training when it came to the commercial, but not to the residential. And the first time that I went out and I did a residential cleaning, I had a really, really big problem. I actually ended up stuck on the rooftop. I set the ladders up in a way that made it so dangerous for me that when I went to go get off the roof, that I went to go step up onto the ladder, I had it set in an A-frame position, A-frame, to get up on it. It made, I don't know what I was doing, but I pushed it, knocked it over, and the ladder was on the ground. And I had to call somebody to come and set the ladder up for me and hold it so that I can get off the roof. That was dumb. In retrospect, that was one of the stupidest things that you could do. Faking it till you make it is not the best way to handle things. Let me just bring my camera up a little bit. You want to have some training, make sure that you're doing it right, and make sure that you've got your safety knowledge all there. It's very, very important. I do think that later on, probably the next podcast and the podcast after that, we're going to be diving into the safety aspect of residential. I want to mention it that it is very, very important, something that you need to consider, not just the harness, but you need to consider exactly how you're setting up your ladder. And you also need to go ahead and consider how you're trying to link and not letting me in either. Well, I guess it's not letting anybody in. Sorry, guys. I apologize. You're stuck with just me tonight. The residential solar panel cleaning, though, from the beginning, is really, really complicated and can seem kind of crazy for anybody and can seem like a daunting task. And oh, here we go. See, you there?
Got one of us in.
There he is. Everybody sounds really messed up for me. So hold on a second. I'm going to take myself out of here first. All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I've got a bad kid. Oh, and there it goes. Damn it. All right, Mr. Colby, I might not be able to let you into the podcast this week. I'm having huge technical difficulties, so I got to let you go, sir. I apologize, guys. I don't have a clue what's going on. I'm not really too happy about that. I'm going to have to figure that out on my own time beforehand. Oh, geez. That's just, you know what? I'll tell you what. Chris, the solo show, that's what we're going to be doing. For the guys that just popped off real quick, you might miss something because we're going to go ahead and do this right now. Because it is just me for this show, we're going to go ahead and do this little giveaway. We're giving away a full cubic foot of DI resin, zero DI resin, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. A lot of you guys use the Culligan tanks or a DI tank, so it can be very helpful for you out there. And I know that stuff is very expensive, and a full cubic foot is pretty helpful in itself. Let me see if I can put the, I'm going to get the link up on here. Look at this little cool thing. So let me get the numbers here. Let's see how many numbers we have. Okay. So that's kind of cool. And drop these little things in here, and then it lands on this. Is this what we're supposed to do? This seems like maybe my wife got the wrong thing because these don't have. Oh, there they. I've got the numbers. Okay, I've got the numbers. All right, so I'm going to give you guys the numbers here, and you can pick. The numbers are 16 through 29. 16 through 29, okay? Those are, everybody already dropped some numbers, but your numbers are between 16 and 29 because these are the only, I've got to put them all out, and literally that's the only ones that I'm going to do right now. So 16 through 29, drop your number now. Get these bad boys in here. Pick a number between 16 and 29. All right. And you will be the proud owner of a full cubic foot DI resin, courtesy of WCR. And the brand on that is Zero. So I was going to do this. This is a lot of fun. Let's see here. Is that clip? Is that what that is? Nope. Okay, hold on. Oh no, we lost one. Okay, there we go. Get this back up on here. Sorry, it's brand new. All right. You guys ready? All right. 16 through 29. No. Someone wasn't paying attention. All right. You guys ready for the winner? 16 through 29. That was your guys' number. So the person who gets the closest to this number right here is going to win a full cubic foot of DI resin, courtesy of WCR. an awesome company, which, by the way, if you want to go check out their website, it is windowcleaner.com. So go ahead and check that out. There is a link in the description. And let's see here. The magic number is 20. Let's see if I can get up here. Oh, that's because I'm using this camera. 26. So who's the closest to 26? That would be Mark and Facebook user. I don't know. It doesn't say Facebook user's name. So whoever Facebook user is after Mark who picked 24, go ahead and put your name, because now you two have to have another roll off and we have to see who wins this, because you both tied with the closest number. All right. Getting better at this. It's going to be so much fun. All right. So between Mark and Facebook user Roy win. It doesn't show on my side unless you guys are you have to allow StreamYard to let me see your Bernardo Cervantes. Okay. When did he say Cervantes? When did he say 25? Let me see this. Oh, he did. Oh my gosh, we don't have to do it again. Whoo! Bernardo Cervantes. Now, didn't he just win something last time too? He was. Oh my gosh, Bernardo, you just won yourself a full cubic foot of DI resin courtesy of WCR. Now, this is awesome because, in my opinion, I think that that's going to help somebody. You could probably use that for the entire year, maybe. I don't know, for your residential. So that's awesome. Everybody, give it up for Bernardo. Let me see if I can find his. Here it is, way back here. At 3:13, he actually said it before anybody got the closest. So good job to him. Thank you so much. Thank you for WCR for supporting Solar Panel Cleaning Friends and being one of our sponsors for not only the podcast, but also for the group, which is really, really awesome. Guys, don't forget that every single month, the first podcast of the month, we're going to be giving away something from WCR, and hopefully it should go a little bit better than this. I apologize that I'm not all together and with technical difficulties. I literally got home, took a shower, took a bite out of a sandwich, and then we went live. So that's how we got this going. But okay, everybody, give it up for Bernardo. Thank you so much for winning that amazing prize. I will send you a link with a form that you will need to fill out to go ahead and collect your prize. Good job. Good job. Okay, let's get back to talking about some residential solar panel cleaning. Let's talk about my beautiful starts in it and the original type of equipment that I was using when I first started doing the residential solar panel cleaning. When we first got going with this, I had yet to really get some water-fed poles, and I think at the beginning we weren't even using the right at the beginning. Actually, I think before anything, we were using painter's extension poles. That's the only thing that I was using, with a janitor's brush and hosing them down, which was really, really complicated. And before we even used the Colgan DI tanks, we were actually using these small blue tanks that we got from Walmart, crazy enough. And let me see if I can find them too, so I could show them to you. And they were really, really cool. They're actually for cleaning RVs, but they were able to soften the water enough that I was able to clean the solar panels from 1 to 3 appointments. It really just depending on the water in the area. Let's see, water, RV. Let's see if I can find this real quick. That wasn't too hard. Alrighty. All right. And share my screen here real quick. Summer, I need you to go sit down right now. It's my daughter's here because my wife is at work. Oh, dang it. Okay, hold on. I gotta bring this on out so I can share this with you. I want to show you guys exactly the what we started off with, because I think it's one of the funniest things is how we got started. Just cracks me up to this day that I still think about how we use this. Okay, here we go. So this is the RV filter right here, and it's not suggested by any means. I have recommended it for those in the past that are just starting out that literally don't have anything. It is totally cool to talk about the robots, talk about having the best filter and having all this kind of stuff, but that's not always a possibility for everybody. And everybody's situation is different. So starting out at the basics of what we're doing here, I think that we can look at this right here, and this helped me out to do 1, 2, 3 appointments. If you've got nothing and you're just starting out and you're like, man, if I could just do 1, 2, 3 appointments and make some money to get something a little bit better, this is what I would suggest. It's literally $20. I think it's like 25, 30 or something like that for 2 of them. It's a great deal. You hook 2 of them together and put it right, kind of like you would do with the Tech 7, to be truthful, how I set that in. You could put one at the spigot and then one at the end of the hose before you plug in your water fed pole, and you got yourself some good water. And you can test it out. I've tested with a TDS meter, total dissolved solids meter, and depending on the water levels of where I'm cleaning at, it has been fairly decent and has helped me clean. So that's actually a really good place to start from. Now, cleaning in the beginning was a real pain in the butt. My green screen is just for crap today. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I didn't put any time and effort to this today. It's terrible. My setup for the residential solar panel cleaning was that painter's extension pole, which is an 18-foot extension pole that I got from Home Depot. And then they had the janitor's brushes there as well. And to start off with, we were literally just spraying, wash the solar panels off with the hose, spray them down, and then just brush it manually. And it was hellacious, and it took us a long time. Someone wants to ask, what's the parts per million on 2 of them? 2 of what? Oh, the 2 of them together? It depends. Sorry. The parts per million, the TDS total dissolves solids parts per million. It could, drop it down to 10, 20, 30, 40 parts per million. And again, that all depended on how bad the water was in that area. But for the most part, we had good results with it. And again, that's only for cleaning like 1 to 2, 3 residential appointments. And you have to check this after, a lot. You have to check it a lot. That's why it's not really suggested as a thing or an answer whatsoever, because it certainly is not an answer. But that is how I got my start. And then one day we were already using the Culligan tanks for the commercial cleaning. One day we decided to go ahead and take the commercial tanks, which Jerome Lee, Uncle Jay, he uses them. We take the full cubic foot size tanks, and we get 2 of them. We put them in the back of our van, and that's what we're using for our residential cleaning. And I would say at that point, because we were getting so many residential appointments, I'm doing 6, 7, 8 appointments per day, that I was having to get new resin every single month. We'd take it into Culligan, they'd fill it back up, and we would be good to go. But it was quite expensive to do that. So that is how I did get my start. And it's very important to know all that, because going through all the crap and running into Murphy's Law really helped me to develop my skills and my specific cleaning methods that I use today. So it's very, very helpful. Jeez, sorry to be talking about myself. Okay, so what did change? How did it all change for me? Well, the changing point that came for me was when Philip Alexander of Simpol actually contacted me, and he's the one who sent me out his Excalibur, and I started using that, and that made a big difference for me. because of the fact that it was no longer just a standalone pole that water was not going through. It was, or excuse me, it wasn't just a standalone pole and then a hose and spraying it off. I was doing something a little bit different. So that was very, very helpful. Let me see something here, guys. Sorry, give me 1 second here just to check to make sure I'm all good. Okay. So, sorry. Apologize about that. So we've got this brush. I'm still using a small brush. And in fact, the brush that we're using was these red brushes that came with the zero poles that we bought back in the day. And what's funny enough about it is I didn't do the ordering, but somebody actually ordered for me from our team and ordered from Window Cleaning Resource, which was funny because we didn't even really know about products, the different brands that were out there that were beneficial at the time. I had no clue. This was in my 4th year of cleaning. Between the 3rd and 4th year is when we started purchasing different types of products, and that is when we picked up the zero poles. We ended up with a project of doing 53 schools in 2 weeks, all carport panels, and we had 6 crews, 6 two-man crews that were up on lifts using water-fed poles, and we were using the zeros, which they had different issues with back then. These are different generation of versions of them, but the brushes that came on them were actually red nylon, and they were actually Tucker brushes, and that's what I was using at the beginning with this simple Excalibur that Philip had sent out to me from Arizona. And one day I was looking at myself cleaning, and I was getting so stressed out because I couldn't get the bee pollen off. And not only that, my arms and back were getting just burnt out because I was hauling ass and taking names, man. I was killing it, making money left and right. But I still was working my tail end off. So I took 2 of these. I had 2 of these brushes, these 8-inch brushes, and I took a metal bar and I kind of connected them together. Made myself a bigger brush, 16 inches, and I thought, man, this is awesome. Started cleaning with that, and I saw a difference with it. Now I had 4 jets. Both brushes had 2 pencil jets, so I had 4 pencil jets that were going through. Around this time, a little bit beforehand, actually, Perry Tate of Reach It had contacted me, and I started working with him. I shouldn't say working with him, I started testing his equipment. And if you go back and look at some of my earlier videos, you could see me trying a brush that he sent out to me, where he took my scraper I did and had put it into this brush, and I did not find the benefit of it. And in fact, I found that specifically for this brush that it just did not work for what I was doing. He did, however, though, I apologize, it's hard to talk from cleaning all day long as well. He did send me a rhino tubing, which at the time was, and I had used it for a very long time. I don't use Reach It products, but I do. I guess I use one specifically, as I've been using the rhino tubing, but that has switched up actually because we now use the zero tubing that the 100-foot zero tubing that we got from WCR that they just sent out to us a few weeks ago, which is freaking awesome. It's a lot longer. I was using a 75-foot one, so definitely that extra 25 feet makes a difference. The one thing that was good about the rhino tubing is the flow. So I'll tell you all that about my tubing and everything and Perry Tate. But when I use the tubing and I put it on the inside of my new Excalibur water-fed pole, and then at the end I had these 2 8-inch brushes connected, now making a 16-inch brush. I had more flow. And it was at that point that I started to realize something here. I was starting to see that with solar panel cleaning, you need to have flow. Flow is more important than pressure. Pressure is not the most important thing when it comes to solar panel cleaning, which I learned a lot more in the years to come. But I also learned that there was a little bit more that needed to be added to this brush or to what I was doing in order to clean off things like the bird poop or the bird pollen, the bee pollen. Every time we went out to a house or to a different installation, there was a different problem, a different situation. So I learned from that, and I learned about how that um, what I thought was going to be working at home, and how I sat down and thought to myself, okay, this is going to be the perfect situation for this perfect setup, and it's going to be all beautiful, and I'm going to get out there and we're just going to kill it, make money, and go home. And that did not work. And in fact, I ended up finding out that some solar panels were dirtier than others, in lieu of certain situations, because of where the home sat, because of the location of the property, or the install of the solar panels. Also, I think that was important for residential. And what I started to learn about was looking around. You know, it's important to get up there and look at the solar panels and have safety. And I hear a lot of people like Steve Williams, which is a very good cleaner, talk about the safety. He cares about you guys. He's not just being an ass. He actually cares. But there's other different factors that we're not looking at as solar panel cleaners that I do not hear talked about enough. And that is the area around the solar panels you're cleaning. We need to go ahead and put our investigators caps on and take a look at what's going on, and kind of try to evaluate what's going on. We got to recognize, analyze, and resolve. Something you've heard me say before. We need to recognize the situation. Why are those solar panels so dirty? If it's your first time cleaning them, you want to ask your customer, when was the last time they were cleaned? Have they ever been cleaned? When were they installed? These are important stuff. Get as much information, and they'll only know so much, but you'll want to get a timeline so you know exactly what you're going to be dealing with. You want to know, have they been cleaned? And that'll let you know, okay, they care about the maintenance of their solar panels, of their system. But also you'll want to know, if they have been cleaned, how are they cleaned, if possible, why they're no longer being cleaned by that person. I think as a cleaner, or for any kind of cleaning business, it's very important that if you come across any kind of customer who has told you that somebody else is cleaning before you and that they are no longer cleaning, it's very important to know why. Maybe they did something that caused a problem. So those are good things to know. It also is very good at that point in time when you're talking to the customer to educate them on the solar panels, build up that expectation of what they're going to be getting with their solar panels, or what they should be seeing with their solar panels. Like I said, you guys know I do a visual inspection. We do a thermal imaging inspection. I do an inspection of around the solar panels because I want to determine why the solar panels are in the condition that they are, and why they have the amount of soiling that is taking place. That's going to give me an idea of how often the solar panels should be cleaned, which I will then, after cleaning and have my photos and everything, I will then go to the customer and say, okay, this is what I have found on your solar panels when I did my visual inspection, when I did my thermal inspection. I suggest now, based on this and based off of me being a badass, no, I'm just kidding, I don't say that, based off of my readings, that you should have your solar panels cleaned every 6 months or every 4 months or every 3 months. It really varies. And I'm using those numbers 6, 4, and 3 because that's basically what it comes down to. Generally speaking, it's every 6 months for residential. For commercial, you're going to find a lot of them, especially the bigger ones like schools, just do it once a year. Lower, those kind of like I shouldn't say lower, but like the solar farms, or an actual farm, it's a little bit different. They can do it every 6 months, but for residential, every 6 months. If it's a little bit hectic, what I like to tell them is upon the 3rd or 4th month, go ahead and look at your solar panels and see what the reading is, and see if they're pulling the same amount of watts that they're pulling today after I'd cleaned your solar panels, which I want to say something about that. And if that number has gone down, I want you to contact me if you think you're at a situation where you need to have your solar panels cleaned. If it's just gone down a little bit, you're all good. We'll talk to you upon that 6th month, and we'll come out there. But on that 3rd, 4th month, have them start looking at the output readings, the production of the solar panels, because it also gets them more interested in it, and it gets them prepared to think about you and gets them ready for your scheduling. Because there's a possibility when it gets time to that 6 months, you're going to send out an email list, an email blast, a text blast, letters, or whatever you do to go ahead and contact your customers to let them know that it's time to get their solar panels clean again. So that preparation can be good. Geez, how much time we got on here? 35 minutes. I feel like I've been talking for hours, bruh. Now, listen, I have slowed down my drinking. I want you guys to know I felt bad that it looked like I was constantly drinking. I don't like that. That's not the perception that I want to put off. So I did slow down my drinking. I came home today and it was a real long day. So I opened this one. It is down to here. Plus, I didn't have anything else that I could quickly grab because I was so parched. I needed something to drink. But the terrible reasoning. But still, I got a beer. But I thought I'd let you guys know I'm trying not to drink. Right? Thank you. I appreciate the help and the love and support. So the residential, I think basically you understand from so far in 36 minutes of talking about this that residential is not as easy as it seems. There can be a lot of crap to it. It can also be very, very easy. This month we're going to be talking about more in depth about residential cleaning. I want to get a basic start to it and get the idea rolling about residential solar panel cleaning. I know that a lot of you out there think that rushing to commercial, or that the having the most commercial customers is the answer, the solution, and it's not. You can actually make a lot of money in residential solar panel cleaning, a lot of money. There is so many solar panels out there, and more customers just being created daily. So don't put aside residential solar panel cleaning for nothing. Oops, excuse me. All right, so we talk about now the basics. You've already heard my kind of basic story on solar panel cleaning residential. I want to talk about some basic equipment for residential solar panel cleaning. I would not suggest for anybody if you're just getting into the game and you have nothing whatsoever, go ahead and get the RV tanks if that helps you. And again, that was, let me share this up here. I'm going to share a couple different things for the heck of it. Nope, you don't get to see it because I already closed it out. But the RV, it doesn't really matter because you really shouldn't even be buying those things. If you didn't see it, go back in the podcast and you can see the little blue RV tanks that I used to get from Walmart when I first started. It allowed me to clean 1 to 3 homes, not recommended. If you don't have the money to purchase a full cubic foot, get yourself a half cubic foot DI tank. You don't necessarily need RO, but if you do have a system that has an RO-DI combination, there's nothing bad about it. RO is totally fine. The main purpose is to get that 0 parts per million, that 0 TDS parts per million. And when we're talking about that parts per million, this is what I wanted to mention. I always think it's a rule of thumb. There are standing operating procedures, rule of thumb, blah, 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 blah. But I think when it comes to the TDS or the pure water level, because basically what we're doing here, we don't have to be too crazy about it. If you think about it, it's like a car wash. It's that spot-free car wash. It's that final rinse. And to be truthful with you, you can, if you're doing residential to save your DI, you can actually start off with your regular water and finish off with the pure water. It's going to be fine. The solar panels are going to be fine. I've checked it out myself. It's going to be fine. But the thing about it is you have certain levels that you want to stay in when the TDS. For window cleaning, it is 0 to 10 TDS parts per million. This is the area that you want to stay in order to get really clean windows, spot-free windows. For solar panels, it is 0 to 40. However, I have gone up to, I saw somebody talking about this in the group earlier today, but I've gone all the way up to 100 TDS. I have. And the ultimate test, because you're not cleaning windows, you're not. Cleaning windows is totally different. What we want is a beautiful look, a beautiful look. So aesthetically talking, you should be using your eye 100%. In the very end of it, you should not just go, it's like this. Sometimes when my wife likes to cook stuff, I'm a little bit of a better cook, just a little bit, wee bit. But sometimes when she cooks stuff, she goes off the directions 100%. If it says that it needs to be in the oven for 20 minutes, she'll put it in for 20 minutes. However, I believe that you should be checking it at 15, 10 minutes, whatever, at intervals. Check things out, because you never know. Just because the box says 20 minutes does not necessarily mean that it's going to be 20 minutes for my oven. So the same thing applies. It's going to be different everywhere, and water is going to be different areas. So at the end of the day, you need to be looking at what you're cleaning and use your eye as the ultimate gauge. Always test the water if you're using DI or just RO, or DI RO combination. You'll want to be checking the TDS levels to make sure that you're in between that zone. Again, that 0 to 40 is really the safe area. Once you get more closer to 40, obviously it gets a little harder, and you start to see stuff, but you can get away with a lot. If you're looking at it, depending on where you are and doing residential, you could be really, really good off. Another thing that can help you with that is the Tech 7 from PH7. A really amazing invention from Frank Bielek, who should be coming on the show shortly. We're going to have him on here for a little bit of a discussion about his ingenuity and his geniusness. I think the guy is very, very smart, but the Tech 7 is very, 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 I use that word too much. It's an amazing piece of equipment and technology that you can add to your setup, whether it be like I said, DI RO combo, or even the Solar 7. It allows you to get just that little bit of extra. It's just that little bit of extra. And I will save the full magic and the science behind the Tech 7 for when Frank comes on to the show. But basically, it reconstructs the water is what it's doing. You add this in on top of having a low TDS level water, and you're getting an amazing clean. The Tech 7 also helps to speed up the evaporation of the water on the solar panels, which that's part of the magic of it. As the water evaporates, you don't have as much as the white lines and the slick oil look that you would get if you're cleaning with just regular water. Which, by the way, if you have not, find a solar panel and clean it with regular water, and let it dry and see what it looks like. You need to be able to compare this. You need to see, if you're cleaning with totally pure water and you're getting beautiful panels, and you're gonna, some of you might say, well, why do I need to do that if my panels are looking good? I'll tell you why. But go ahead and clean one with some regular water, and make sure that parts per million is pretty high. One cleaning is not going to destroy a solar panel. It's not going to leave scaling, hot spotting, anything like that. It doesn't do that. But you will see a look, and you will see these white mineral streaks, kind of like as the water kind of evaporates. Also, the other thing that it does is it kind of like makes these clusters that are terrible. As it makes these water clusters and it's drying, that's what's showing that nastiness. And that's why your customers can see that from the ground, or when you're cleaning, windows, that those water clusters, as they dry, that's where that white ring comes around. The Tech 7 speeds up the drying process and helps with the water to evaporate more quicker. In that the white mineral look or the oil look is no longer there. So that is pretty freaking cool. Another thing that I added to my arsenal that really, really helped. By the way, if I could add, there is no one product that you should be getting. you really should be a master of all different types that are out there, because like I said, location dictates everything. It's never the same. What works for one cleaner doesn't work for another cleaner. What works for one part of the world doesn't work for another part of the world, and what works at one appointment may not work at another appointment exactly. Louis Alfaro, who is not on the show right now, has cleaners out in Hawaii. Hawaii has an algae and mold problem that is ridiculous. Some of the worst algae and mold that is found on solar panels is found out in Hawaii. It is strong. It is ridiculous. It is a tedious process to clean, sometimes taking 2-3 hours to clean an appointment. We're talking 24 panels. Nothing crazy, but the fact that there's so much algae and mold, it makes it a crazy cleaning. So Lewis is out there cleaning with, I believe, a few 12-inch brushes, and then he talks to me, and I tell him about my 24-inch brush and making one and over there, which, by the way, if you don't know, and I did not know until recently, shipping things to Hawaii is very expensive, super expensive. So it's better to be able to make stuff over there. So I taught them how to make a water-fed brush, a 24-inch brush, and this helped them out, change things dramatically. Talk about a game changer. It was up there. They sent me a video, and it was just killing it, just removing this algae and mold like nobody's freaking business. And that's what we're talking about. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes things work. I don't always use my 24-inch brush. Sometimes I like to bust out the Tucker hybrid brush, because it just works a little bit better at certain situations, depending on what I want to clean. Maybe there's too much top dirt, top soiling. Maybe there's too much bottom soiling. And if you just think that there's just soiling and it's just dirty, you need to really think about this now. There's a top level and there's a bottom level. Okay. The top elements are the dust, the dirt, the loose stuff that the wind has brought onto the solar panels. Whoops. Starting to shake up the little bingo thing. I got excited like we were about to give something away again. Sorry, my bad. But geez, that just totally threw me off. Guys, if you don't know, I had seizures between the ages of 18 and 34. Back to a point where I almost couldn't walk for a while. So it's kind of really almost a blessing that I'm even walking and doing the stuff I do. But however, though, it has killed my short term. Some people like to say, "Oh man, that Chris is a stoner." No, it's actually because I had a lot of seizures and sometimes just kind of slip. So yeah, I totally forget 100% about where I was going with my point. That's okay. Doesn't matter. I can move on from there. We're getting towards the end here anyways, because there's only 12 minutes left in the show. So let's talk a little bit more about the next episodes that are coming up and what we're going to be doing, and the amazing stuff that we're going to be giving away that's a little bit different than a product. This month, like I said, we're going to be talking all about residential solar panel cleaning. This first podcast, when we do every month, we'll have a theme. The first podcast of the month, we'll have that giveaway with WCR, and we'll have kind of like a free talk about some things, share some experiences with you guys, some of the things I've learned, different little inside tips, tricks, and advices we could share with you. Then as we go deeper in the month, we'll go ahead and do a little bit more training. Next week, we're going to be talking about the equipment, different equipment, modifying your equipment depending on the situation. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about those situations too. When it gets to residential, like I said, you can find yourself a whole lot of different situations, whether it be I remember what I was talking about. Before I get forward, before I finish, I'm sorry. Let me finish what I was saying earlier. You have two layers, okay? Two layers. You have a top layer of elements and you have a bottom layer of elements. That top layer of elements is all the dirt and dust. It's all from the wind that's just being blown out. Earlier when I was talking about that, you got to look at you got to survey the area. That's the stuff that's being through there. You got to find out why. Then the other stuff is the hard elements. We're talking about the bird poop. We're talking about the bee pollen and all that kind of stuff that's really hard to get off. We're talking about the dirt that accumulates in a corner of a solar panel because of the way it is angled or because it's a flat, that kind of hard element. We need to think about that when we go to a cleaning, because you're going to find out there's going to be different ways to clean it. A robot, it's you know, you may not just go this way back and forth. Maybe you find out going to, I don't know, that's actually probably a bad example, but there's different things that can help for different situations. So you want to make sure that you have the right equipment, the right knowledge for that situation. You wouldn't be using a robot for a residential. So that was a terrible example. I apologize for that. Yeah, so we'll talk about that next week. We're going to be diving into the equipment, and I want to talk about all the different types of brands that are out there that can that have water fed poles. We'll talk a little bit about the rotating bristle brushes, because I know some of you guys are using the rotating bristle brushes, and a little bit more into that. And we'll also dive in deeper in how you can use those different equipment and brushes to attack the top layer and the bottom layers of those elements. Also, let's see here. Not next week, but the week after that, we do have another giveaway this month. Not this next podcast, but the podcast after that, we will be giving you a $300 gift certificate to Tucker. So that's what we have planned for you guys. I think it was 200 to 300. I think it's 300. But that'll be really cool, because that could help somebody out big time. So join us for not the next podcast, but the podcast on the, I don't have the dates here. It doesn't really matter. In 2 weeks for that amazing one. Next week, I do have something special for you guys. I'm going to be dropping out my residential safety manual guide that I had created years ago for all of my residential guys, or my residential appointments, that I think is really, really helpful. It has a good checkoff list and a whole bunch of other different stuff. Time just jumped on. Everyone is doing well. Unfortunately, nobody else could join me today, because apparently we're having technical difficulties left and right. I got to get that figured out before the next time we come in here. The safety list is pretty badass, and I think it's going to help you guys out. In addition, I'm going to throw in there my checklist for the visual inspection, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the thermal imaging inspection. And what's more important about this, and talking about what we're going to be learning here, is how you use this stuff to increase the price of your residential solar panel cleaning prices. There are other different factors to consider, and I'm not talking about it's a 1-story, 2-story, but we've got deep cleaning prices. We have the visual inspections that's important. You kind of find stuff like that that's going to help you determine possibly how often the solar panels need to be cleaned, and the thermal imaging, which is very important as well, to go ahead and show the customer what's going on, because hey, you might not necessarily be the reason that the solar panels are not achieving the production that they should be achieving, even though you've cleaned them. So it's all stuff that goes together. It's very awesome. Thank you so much for everybody that's joined. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, WCR, our amazing sponsor and supporter of Solar Panel Cleaning Friends. These guys are really, really cool, because they support us by doing the giveaway every first episode of the month. And of course, we love all of our sponsors that are amazing, that show us so much support for all the cleaners. Tucker, Hike Cleaner, Solo Cleano, Simple, all of you guys, we love you all, and thank you so much for supporting us. Like I said, I can't thank you enough. I'm going to be dropping off a whole bunch of links in the group, and I do have some new videos. I did not have time to upload them because apparently I didn't convert them the right way. So I'm going to be dropping some amazing new videos left and right I've been working on. I've been silently taking care of stuff. I had to get some things all put together. And finally, before I shut down here, Solar Panel Cleaners Association. A Solar Panel Cleaners Association with a certification program. So apparently it is really, really hard to get this going. It's going to take me a lot of time. Until then, we are going to try to get some training or something together. I don't know. I've been told that I can only do so much. Otherwise, it could pose a liability problem. So I'm working on getting that together. But what we are looking for is the International Solar Panel Cleaners Association. You heard it from here first. And this will be the place where you can go ahead and get your certification. Not only just your training, but a certification that shows that you have the knowledge to clean residential, commercial, any kind of installs out there, any kind type of situation, that you are certified and knowledgeable and experienced with all different types of equipment that's out there, whether it be a manual brush, a rotating bristle brush, or a robot. With the International Solar Panel Cleaners Association, we're going to have, it's down the road, and it's going to be hard for anybody to do. But I think to do it right, we're going to have to give the time into it. But I want to create an association, a training kind of certification program that allows you to not only learn about solar panel cleaning, but to learn how each one of the different kind of equipment that's out there, how they work and how to operate them. So that can be definitely very helpful for everybody. So that is the future, as well as a lot of safety, a whole bunch of different things. Safety, guys, when we're talking about safety, guys, workplace safety, residential to commercial, very, very different. Ladder safety, aerial safety, vehicle safety, equipment safety. There's just so much safety that should be going into us. And if we're really going to really talk about it, then we need to get really deep into it. So next month, I'll be talking all about safety next month. I'm really going to give you to you. I'm going to give you all the safety that you will need. I'm going to give you a whole month of safety. We only got 3 minutes left. I'm gonna give you a whole freaking month of safety. All right. Yeah, nobody will be talking about that after that. I'd love to see Steve Williams say something about that. No, I'm just kidding. I love Steve Williams. He's a great guy. Hopefully we'll have him back on the podcast as well. Kim Verduck as well needs to be on here sometime soon. Need to get Carly Dawson needs to come back on the show. Sean Gavin, I want to have him on here. Hoping to get Chris and Alex. I'm not going to slaughter their last name because I always get it wrong, so I'm not going to mispronounce it. But I want to get the guys over from WCR to come and check us out one time. We definitely have a really good show coming up where I'm bringing on Frank Bialek of PH7 to explain the magic of PH7 and the Tech 7. So don't miss that one because it's going to be awesome. And who knows, there might be a giveaway, on that one that well, you know what? I don't want to give away too much. Don't miss one podcast every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are here, at least I am. Somebody else should be with me. I'm usually not alone. I will have all technical difficulties worked out by next week. I promise. We're coming down to the final seconds of this. Thank you so much. Please share this video. Share it, like it. If you haven't already, I only see 3 likes or hearts. I'm almost a little bit hurt. Give me a like and a little heart to fill up my little heart. I need that. Appreciate you guys taking your time and spending it with me here on another Tuesday. We will see you again next week, where I promise we will have more other people here, not just myself talking, because, well, I'm only so cool. And yeah, be prepared because we'll probably drop some really awesome stuff. See you guys next week.